Hello everybody, and welcome to my channel. My name is Brian Hussar. If you're new to my channel, this is where I talk about my passions of the Beatles, music, movies, and musical theater. If you like what you see, you're roaming around, and you like everything here, please click that subscribe button. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. So, this is a video that I decided to do, which was kind of suggested to me by a longtime viewer. And since I'm on this musical theater kick, he had suggested I do a video of my favorite Broadway cast albums. That's kind of hard, but I have to love the show in order to have the cast album anyways. One thing I'm going to say, and tie it back to physical music, is that cast albums are still being bought physically because it's a souvenir that you can buy at the show. So people will still go to the merch table at intermission or before or after the show and pick up a cast album. And Broadway cast albums, I'm fascinated by the way they're recorded anyways. Let's put it like this. It's a lot of money for so little time. Mostly you have to get this stuff done within a day. Sometimes there are luxuries, like I think Hamilton had 2 weeks. I think In the Heights also had 2 weeks as well. So there's a number of factors that go into cast albums. So I have linked in the description to a great conversation with the American Theater Wing with producer Thomas Shepard and producer and founder of Ghostlight Records, Kurt Deutsch, and two other gentlemen about what it is that goes in a cast album, and also D.A. Pennebaker's documentary on the making of the original cast album of Company. Now, as a rule, I'm not including Hamilton because I've talked about that. I'm not including Rent because I talked about that. I'm not including Great Comet because I talked about that, or Dear Evan Hansen. And I have so many more that I haven't that I'm not going to be able to show you here, just because this is just scratching the surface. But you're going to hear some names. You're going to hear Thomas Shepard, who's a producer. You're going to hear Ghostlight Records and Kurt Deutsch, because I've noticed everything that I get they are affiliated with. So without further ado, here we go. So we have, this is a given, and I'm going to show you the CD and my vinyl copy. Chorus Line. And I did talk about this one, so I'm breaking my rule there. But here's my vinyl copy of A Chorus Line. And what is great about this is that this was the last Broadway cast recording done by a legend at Columbia Records, Goddard Lieberson. He broke so much new ground on cast albums. If you're a Rodgers and Hammerstein fan, his recording of South Pacific with Mary Martin is a must-have. He did a lot of things as far as cast albums, introducing some dialogue from the show, and really made it a listening experience where you could sort of relive the show. And his protege was a gentleman by the name of Thomas Z. Shepard. And he did a lot of Sondheim. And here is my CD of Company, digitally remastered. Originally came out on Columbia Masterworks, which is now called Broadway Masterworks. And here's my vinyl copy of it. Interesting thing about my vinyl copy for you surround sound aficionados out there, I didn't realize that this is a quad album. It's a matrixed quad. So one day I got to hook my turntable up to my surround sound system and put it on Dolby Pro Logic so it could get the quad information. Company is probably my favorite Sondheim, and I'm going to show you a lot of Sondheim here. It's probably my favorite Sondheim because I could relate to the character, but the original Broadway cast has got Elaine Stritch. Here's to the Ladies Who Lunch. It doesn't get any better than that. Some more Sondheim. The original Broadway cast of A Little Night Music. I'd love to get this on vinyl, actually. Again, produced by Goddard Lieberson. I think Sondheim's real great period was that period in the 70s and in the 80s, up to Into the Woods, I think. That's his real great period, in my opinion. And speaking of Into the Woods is also another favorite Broadway cast recording. The original Broadway cast with Bernadette Peters. And, of course, Sweeney Todd. Spring Awakening. I love the show, but the music was done by Duncan Sheik. The lyrics and the book was done by Stephen Sater. But with this album, is that it actually stands on its own as a good pop rock album. That is a really good thing about this. The songs stand on their own. Probably one of my favorite shows of the last several years, Next to Normal. Such a powerful show. You know I'm not going to get away from Lynn. In the Heights. And again, it's got all of the music from the show. That's one of the things I like about what Kurt Deutsch does. And Ghostlight does. You get all of the music from the show, including reprises and things like that, which is not on the Dear Evan Hansen Broadway cast album. I'm a big fan of Hair. You got this deluxe edition that came out on CD. Hopefully you can still get it. That's got the original Broadway cast recording in song or in show order. But again, our friends at Ghostlight Records did an amazing recording of the revival, including all of the music that was in the show, not restricted by vinyl or anything like that, putting all of the music on here. This is, again, another one to get, and with a great cast. I just discovered this on its revival, She Loves Me. I saw the streaming event that they did of it. It was incredible production. But I'm a fan of Fiddler on the Roof. And this was actually written. The songs were written by Jerry Bach and Sheldon Harnick. Music Jerry Bach and lyrics Sheldon Harnick. And I only knew of them from Fiddler on the Roof. So when I heard Vanilla Ice Cream and I heard Laura Benanti sing it, I said, I gotta get this cast album. It was an amazing production. If you couldn't get to Broadway to see it, and you saw the streaming event that they did, or watched it on PBS, yeah, it was a beautiful production of a show I never heard of, and the music I love. The original Broadway cast album of Chicago. I like the revival cast, but this one has got Bossy's separated wife, Gwen Verdon, and Cheetah Rivera, and Jerry Orbach. So that's why I like this one a lot. There are so many more Broadway cast albums that I love, and like I said, I'm just scratching the surface because there's so many Broadway shows that I love. But I encourage you, if you are shying away from musicals or Broadway, I mean, give it a try. Give them a try. I love musicals, and a Broadway cast album that is done the right way could be a very good souvenir of the show that you saw. And those are my favorite Broadway cast albums. Thank you very much for watching, and as usual, I make my videos when I can. If you like this video again, please give it a thumbs up. And again, if you like what you see, please click subscribe. Please leave me some comments and let me know what you thought. Please keep them professional and nice, right down below there. And again, keep physical music alive. When you buy a CD or a vinyl record, it is yours for life. And until we meet again.